Right, I want to start off by giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. And I want to say shalom to the brothers and sisters that are in this truth. Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, man, we're back with another lesson. And this one's going to be titled The Final Hour. All right, we're a few prophecies away from the final hour, which is going to bring in the destruction of Babylon, the great city. Okay, and as you see, man, you know, a lot of things are being stirred up, okay, on this earth. All right, even in the ministry, all right, of you Hebrew Israelites. Okay, people falling on the wayside, by the wayside. All right, you know, coming up with these crazy ass doctrines, coming up with these crazy ass excuses of why they're no longer a Hebrew Israelite, and it's all because the final hour, all right, is arriving. Okay, a lot of calamities, a lot of plagues. Okay, all right, it's going to be a lot of turmoil and tribulations. All right, this ain't the time to jump ship. This is the time to anchor down. Okay, anchor down in the spirit. All right, there's nothing left. All right, there's nothing for you but the protection of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai in the final hour. Okay, the destruction is being brought upon you, right, by the hand, okay, of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. All right, so this ain't the time to doubt. All right, this ain't the time to say I want to go back into the world. All right, this ain't the time to second guess what you're doing, right, in this ministry. All right, you can't have one foot in the world and one foot in the ministry. That's like having one foot in the grave. Okay, you're already digging your own grave. Okay, at the end of the day, as the brother had told me before, man, going back into the world, that's committing suicide. All right, the final hour, all right, is upon us. All right, and like I said, there's only a few prophecies to go, right, before the Lord comes back, all right, to bring that final hour. Okay, so let's start off in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, and let's start at verse 13.
There's a book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world.
You see that? And the ends of the world is over here, right? The west, okay? Remember, the sun rises in the east and comes down in the west, man, okay? This is the end of the world, okay? Ran by who? Esau, Edom himself, all right? Remember that. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the world that is the one that followeth, right? It's the beginning of it that followeth, okay? So these arrows, right, these missiles are going to be shot right here at America, okay? That is the prophecy, all right, that is going to come to pass on that final hour. All right, this is the end of the world, man. Okay, and Esau also represents the end of the world, which is the main target, right, of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Okay, so let's get that real quick before we continue reading. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, and let's go to verse 14.
There's a book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about.
See that? Put yourselves in array against Babylon, right? Babylon, which is right here, okay? America, all right? And to be put in arrays, that's a battle formation, all right? And remember, the Lord is the one that mustereth the host of the battle, okay? So the Lord is actually the one making this formation, okay? In order to bring that destruction, okay? Right here in Babylon the Great.
All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her.
You see that? All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, okay? All those countries that have these nuclear weapons, that have these missiles, okay? All right? The Lord has commanded them through the spirit on the left-hand side to shoot, okay? And when that spirit is sent forth, hey, there's no turning back.
Spare no arrows.
Spare no arrows, okay? They're going to empty out all them silos, man. Everybody that got missiles, they're going to empty them out, man, okay? It's going to be an all-out battle. It's going to be the final minute on the 4th of July show. Okay?
For she hath sinned against the Lord.
And when you look around you, okay? Babylon the Great, right? That great whore, right? That's all she's ever done is strive against the Lord. Everything here is backwards, contrary to the Levitical law that was given to us, right? Everything here is backwards, man, and you see it, okay? Everything here is, defiled food is a delicacy, okay? Being a Mo is the fashion, all right? That's what's in. And if you don't accept it, you're the weirdo, okay? Women wearing pants, men wearing dresses, all right? The woman above the man, okay? The man under the woman, okay? So Babylon is the corporate of all this, man, all right? They're the ones who've committed all this witchcraft, all right? Matter of fact, let's go to the book of where is Salakia? Nehemiah, right? 3 and 4. Oh, Salakia. Nahum 3 and 4. Salakia.
There's a book of Nahum, chapter 3 and verse 4. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot.
You see that? And this is talking about Nineveh, right? But now it applies to Babylon, right? Because she is the harlot, okay? She's that great whore. Go ahead.
The mistress of witchcrafts.
The mistress of witchcraft, which is what? Which is a feminine way of saying the master of witchcrafts, okay? And you see it through the media, through the philosophies. Everything she has done, right? That poison that started here has spread to the four corners of the earth, okay? And if you don't accept it, all right, she turns to her sword, okay? She takes you out, okay? Go ahead.
That selleth nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcraft.
You see that? And families through her witchcraft, okay? This is the way she have sinned against the Lord. That's why the Lord is bringing that final hour, okay, to America, all right? And a lot of you, Jake, out there, women, and, Jake and Eve, okay, are participating, all right, in this madness, all right? They have made you the poster child of a lot of this shit, man, even in the music industry, okay? Right? You look at this generation today, okay, it's gone, all right? It's gone, A bunch of moles just promoting drugs, okay, just promoting sex and violence, all right? And it's you, Jake, okay, because you are the salt of the earth, okay? Whatever you do, everybody else follows, okay? Look at how our people are in the northern tribes, man. All right? You go to their countries, man. All right? Massacres everywhere. All right? And who has their hand in it? Okay? The so-called JOOs, man. Them small hats. They're the ones funding everything, man. Okay? They're the ones making you, Jake, right? You southern and northern kingdoms the face, right, of this madness. Okay? And that's why when that final hour comes, man, you're going to pay heavy as well, right? You're going to pay heavy when these calamities come, when these plagues, okay, right? The hunger, all right? The persecution. Esau knowing that he ain't got much time. What do you think, man? You think he going to care that you were, committing these abominations, okay, and showing up to his freak shows, right, behind closed doors? No. They're going to come up against you. You still the enemy, right? You done forgot. Because why? Okay? A gift destroys the heart and has destroyed the mind of all you Jakes out there, all you 2/3 Jakes, okay, thinking that everything is sweet, all right? The Lord's going to come down on you. The Lord's going to come down on you real heavy, man, all right? Because you didn't want to turn back, all right, before that grace period was over, okay? That's why the scripture says they shall know of death by pain. Okay, because you ain't want to listen. All right. So let's go back, right, to the book of 2nd Esdras, okay, 16, and let's continue on in verse 14.
There's a book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 16 and verse 14. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again.
You see that? The plagues are sent and shall not return again, okay? And the plagues are in many forms, okay? The plagues represent tribulation, troubles, okay? So the plagues are going to be coming in famines. The plagues are going to be the missiles coming, okay? The plagues are going to come in different forms, man. And they're not going to be able to be turned back, all right?
Until they come upon the earth. the fire is kindled, and shall not be put out, till it consume the foundation of the earth.
You see that? Go ahead.
Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again.
Shall not return again. Okay? Because this is all part of the Lord's plan. All right? Who are you to say any different? Okay? That's why Christianity got all our people messed up. All right? They got them all jacked up. Okay? You bring them this truth, they don't want to believe that shit. Okay? All they see is harps and hearts. Okay? That's all they see is harps, okay? Pianos being played. People just singing in hymns, right? Jesus is love, no matter what, all right? And if you look at the people that come up against the Hebrew Israelites, they look like a bunch of bug outs, man. Men looking effeminate, okay? Just bugged out, all right? You know? And we see through them because we have the Spirit dwelling within us, okay? And they don't understand the dangers and the calamities that's coming, but that's okay because they're going to learn, man. They're going to learn on that day, all right? And the rest of you 2/3 that come up against the Hebrew Israelites, man, all right? These things are going to be sent and not returned in the final hour, all right? Understand that. And we're like I said, we are a few prophecies away from this happening, all right? And we're just here to give you the message. Whether you hear or forbear, man, it don't matter, all right? It doesn't matter if you hear this word, okay, and disannul it or reject it. That's your ass. That ain't ours. Lord willing, okay, that the Spirit carries us, right, and that the Lord, doesn't take the gift away of faith from us, and we be able to finish this race that we in, okay? So let's go real quick, right, to the book of Isaiah. All right, let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 27. Okay?
There's a book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 27.
Let's start at Salakia. Let's start at verse 26.
This is the purpose that is purposed upon the whole earth, and this is the hand that is stretched out upon all the nations.
You see that? Upon all the nations, okay? Because the day of the Lord is upon all you heathen, okay? And all you Jake that are scattered across the four corners of the earth that did not want to return to the living power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, okay?
For the Lord of hosts hath purposed, and who shall disannul it? Disannul it.
Khan, right? So for the Lord of hosts has purposed, and who shall disannul it? Who's the one who's going to say, nah, that's not going to happen? You know what? We're going to do this so we could curve his plans. Who's going to curve the Lord's plans? Okay? That's the question. That's the question mark right there. Who's going to be able to stop the Lord from fulfilling, right, the prophecies, man, right? From fulfilling the counsel, okay, that is written. Go ahead.
And his hand is stretched out, and who shall turn it back?
You see that? So who shall turn it back, man? Once the Lord gives the green light, okay, who's going to be able to stop him? You see that? When these fires, these plagues, okay, come upon the earth, who's going to be able to quench the fire? Okay? Who's going to be able to stop the plagues? Okay? This is what we're facing at the end. Understand that. This is what we're facing, man. You people are out there were scared about the COVID, you know? COVID-19, okay? Y'all was scared about that, all right? Shit, there was no Lysol in the shelves, okay? Bleach was gone, bleach, wipies, all types of shit, man. All types of different disinfectants were gone. They made probably $1 billion off of sanitizer alone because of the fear that you guys had over C-19. So imagine when these real plagues come upon the earth, man, where it's taking people out in hours. Okay, you see people walking down the street with boils and blood coming out their eyes, right? Huh? What you gonna do then? Huh? You gonna call on Jesus Christ? Okay, when we were telling you for a long time that that's not his name. You're over here scoffing, right, and scorning, laughing, taking pictures, okay? Walking up the street talking about Jesus is king, okay? You're relying on a dead man. You're dead yourself. All right? We tried feeding you that manna, man, that angel food, and you rejected it, man. You rather eat GMO, right? Jesus is king. God loves everybody. Okay? Okay, so let's see if your ways are going to stop these calamities coming upon you, man. All right? Proverbs 1 and verse 20, right? Wisdom crieth out, right? But you guys rejected that. That's why the Lord said in the same chapter, all right, that when these calamities come upon you and you call upon him, right, he's going to laugh at you. And how's he going to do that? Through the prophets that you laughed at while everything was good. Everything was nice and dandy. You were able to walk up and down the street, okay, with in peace, all right? Do what you were doing, right? Carrying your Dunkin' Donuts bag with your coffee, okay? Smoking your vapes, all right? Looking dirty as hell with your sandals, okay? Planning your Saturday, all right? With your baby father's child support checks, all right? While we were trying to reach out to you, okay? You slapped the hand away, which that was the Lord trying to reach out to you, okay? Okay? But on that day, you're going to try to remember the Lord. You're going to call on the wrong names, and you're not going to be able to find the face of the Lord. The Lord is going to hide from you, all right? Understand that. So you're going to have to call on your gods to try to return that hand that is stretched forth, bringing these calamities, okay? So let's go back to the book of 2nd Ezra, all right, chapter 16, and let's continue on in verse 17.
There's a book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days?
See that even Ezra, when he seen this vision, was like, whoa, even he was shook up, okay? And Ezra was a prophet, man, a man of the Lord. And even he was scared, okay? Even he was scared from what he saw, all right? And it was just a vision. So imagine being there in real time, okay? Who will deliver me in those days? The answer is right here, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, okay? That's the only way out, man. That's your ticket out, okay? If you're not on the guest list, guess what, man? You're going to be casted out, right? With the gnashing of teeth into outer darkness, man. Okay? It's going to be real bad times for you. All right? Go ahead.
The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear.
You see that? The powers shall stand in fear. Shit, even these elites, even those that are controlling the earth right now, are going to be in fear, man. All right? Remember, in 2nd Ezra 13, when the multitude saw Yahweh Shai coming from the Shemayim, right? The heavens, out of those waters, okay? They stood in fear, okay? Because they understood what time it was, man. The final hour. That final hour is coming, okay? And they're going to stand in fear because they know what time it is, right?
The beginning of evils.
The beginning of evils, man. Bad times, okay?
What shall I do when these evils shall come?
You see that? What shall I do when these evils shall come? All right? Well, the time is right now to prepare. The time is right now to prepare, right? Because once that final hour comes, all right, the doors of mercy are going to be closed, all right? You made your decision, all right? You're going to have to live with it, all right? There's one thing that Jadakiss said in one of his songs. He said that next choice you make might be your last one, right? So, the decisions that you're making today, okay, could lead to your consequences 5 minutes from now, tomorrow, next month. The Lord will wait you out. Remember, the wicked are reserved for the day of destruction, okay? So at the end of the day, the wicked is Esau, but also you 2/3 that have become just like him, okay? All right? At the end of the day, if you are abiding with Esau, you're wicked just like him. Understand that, okay? So at the end of the day, understand that if you don't turn to the Lord, the only one that can deliver you, the only thing you're going to face is that destruction in the final hour, okay? Understand that Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed. Okay? The soils of America is going to be in flames. That great barbecue is coming, man. All right? And if you're not meet for salvation, you're going to be part of that sacrifice. All right, let's go to the book of, get a couple more scriptures and close out. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, and let's go to verse 54.
There's a book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, and verse 54. A sound of a cry cometh from Babylon.
A sound of a cry cometh from Babylon. Why?
And great destruction from the land of the Chaldeans.
You see that? And great destruction from the land of the Chaldeans, right? Which is who? Esau, Edom, wherever they at. And this is their headquarters. Babylon, the great city. Okay? So there's a great cry coming in the final hour. All right? Because of that great destruction. Okay? So let's go to close this out with the book of Revelation, chapter 18. And let's start at verse 8.
There's a book of Revelation, chapter 18, and verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, and mourning, and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire.
See that? And she shall be utterly burned with fire. Okay? This is all coming in one day. That final hour.
For strong is the Lord, Yahweh, who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth, who have committed fornication, and lived deliciously with her.
You see that? All you nations that have, slept with this great whore, doing business, took up her philosophies, okay? Hey, you guys worshipped her, okay? You guys done that great, great abominations, man, all right? That fornication, okay?
Shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
You see that? Hey, no more importing their goods, no more money. You know what I mean? Hey, America's a big business, man, for all these other countries, man. Most of the shit that you're wearing, that you use, these cars, technology, is being imported, okay? So they're gonna be like, damn, man, we ain't gonna be able to make that good money no more, right? It's like a big drug dealer, right? Standing in the like 2 blocks away, seeing their not even 2 blocks away, 2 corners away, all right, seeing their favorite spot, right, being raided, okay? They're like, damn, we took a big hit today. You know what I mean? Now we're gonna have to set up shop somewhere else. That's how these kings are gonna feel, right?
Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon.
See that great city Babylon, man. Okay, and we know this is America because Babylon is still standing today, man. Ancient Babylon, which is modern day Iraq, is still standing, and it's not prophesied to be destroyed. Okay, this place is going to be destroyed.
That mighty city.
That mighty city, and of course, like we said, okay, who's in control right now? It's America. This is the mighty city. Okay.
For in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
One more time.
For in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
That final hour. You see that? That final hour. In 1 day, in 1 hour, everything that Esau has built is going to come to naught. Remember, in Malachi chapter 1, verse 4, the Lord said what? He said, they shall build, but I will throw down. Okay? They built. Renaissance period. They're building right now. They think that they're going to make that, fourth industrial revolution. Okay? These new 15-minute cities. Okay? Going on to the next phase. All right? But the Lord's coming back to destroy all that in 1 hour. Okay? So we only a few prophecies away from that final hour. All right? So it's just time to keep pushing, Israel. It's time to keep pushing. And those that don't know and come up on this information, hey, it's time to repent. That's all we can tell you. It's time to repent or get caught up in that final hour. All right? So, Lord willing, this was edifying. And with that, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. And I want to say shalom to the brothers and sisters that are in this truth. Shalom.
Shalom.
Abba Ba.
Abba.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kum Yasharala.
Shalom.
Shalom.